special podcast on Thursday. What's going on? It's not Tuesday, it's Thursday. I didn't have Daniel around, and I'm probably 147 Reaver bikes in on making things and for people's, and realized that no one's gonna want any of these bikes.
It's so sad. I already had them. I was so excited because it's one of the few things that I was ready to go. I had 30-some painted Reaver jet bikes from way back in the day in the ETC when we were talking about me doing that for, I don't know, like 57 editions ago. In version BCE fucking 10,000. Had them, and now they put them back to 20 points. They're unplayable at 20 points.
Yeah, they're not legit anymore.
They were literally 20 points before. They saw zero space.
Also, how much do you love, Brad, the fact that in the FAQ you know exactly what got updated right away, like when you open it?
Yeah. Fuck you. Also, I found out that Wahapedia exists today.
Hey, don't.
I'm not telling anybody about this.
We're live.
I didn't
what are you doing?
Anything.
Don't mention those type of things.
Yeah. You know what's cool is I literally, again, thought it was because I can't see colors very well. And I'm like, oh, there's no way that they put another FAQ out where they didn't put the colors for the things that were updated. And, well, I was fucking wrong. we have to address a couple things, by the way. I'm wandering around because I saw my gas bill again, and I refused to turn it up because it was 1,000 in a row. So I'm cruising around in my Hefner robe, and there's zero chance we're not going to talk about Daniel's hat right now because it is a lot of things are happening.
It's a McLovin.
I've been calling Daniel the poser Malone of Sweden right now. I'm gonna keep moving my desk too while we're live, just like down and up. Just gonna keep moving
this
the target.
This is a 40K relic. We had it, the one that performed the worst at ETC. I think it's 3 or 4 years ago. Had to wear it after each game. But I just fell in love with it, so I took it home.
Daniel wanted to make sure that you knew he wasn't the worst in that story. He's like, I just fell in love with it. That's why I have it. Not that I'm the worst. That's how could I be the worst? But seriously though, I do weigh 187 kilos. I think that's
no, you're not. By the way, our two options right now were 60 kilos or 182 kilos. I actually think you said 187.
I
both
joined.
Of those have nothing to do with your actual weight.
I joined 40K Fit today, based on Reese Robbins. Thank you.
Horribly obese, or you're so thin.
I am obese. According to the BMI thing, I am obese actually. Even at 6'5", I'm
BMI
obese.
always says you're obese. I think one of my favorite stories ever is I was literally like a week or two out from a bodybuilding contest, and I got on one of those old school GNC scales and put in my build and everything, and I was just sitting there and it said blah blah blah, you are obese, and I was like, I have like 2% body fat right now. I look insane to normal people. But an old lady had actually walked behind when I was saying that. And she's like, I think you look really good, honey. And just kept walking.
Did you ever see the Joe Rogan interview where he's like yoked and like ripped, and like the reporter, some chick next to a reporter or something like calls him Tubby, and he like picks up his shirt and it's just like jacked, like just like a six pack. She's just like, how was I so wrong? It's just like the awe on her face was just epic. I love every minute. Brad, I don't know what is going on with your internet. I got to change this because your camera gets big and small, and then it causes Daniel's camera to get big and small. Someone somewhere knows about OBS enough to make sure this doesn't happen. I don't know who that person is, but I need to talk to him.
I don't know. I'm actually disappointed that we know.
We should hire him for tech support and throw
seriously, dude, right?
The fact that we don't have like always Beetlejuice heads going on all the time. So big.
It's happening. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that happens. Maybe it's my internet. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, it's 1,000% your internet.
I refuse to believe this, sir.
There's one common correlation here, and it's always yours.
Let me close. Let me close. I'm gonna close Warzone and see if that helps because it's on in the background.
Well,
why does Games Workshop hate Tau? The drones are still 20 points.
I love everything about that. It's just so it's
doesn't everybody hate Tau?
Tau has been overperforming so much in ninth edition that they really had to beat them with a stick and put a finishing move on them. Just, what is the deal with that, man?
Poor Tau. Just constant being abused. They had their heyday, Brad. No longer.
Yeah, they did.
No longer will we give them
is,
this.
You know, I'm going to throw it out there again. You know what I think?
I mean, no one loves Tau anyway, so it's fine. But yeah.
I really
don't know why they.
I think that Tau needs two small changes. I think that if suits could fire into combat and they had an assault phase move like they used to, I think that army would still be fine. Period. I don't even think they need like a ton of reworking. I actually think those two things would make it cool.
I think the way they were being played towards the end of was that 8th? Yeah, towards the end of 8th before things changed. Bless you. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think the way they were being played with the drones and stuff and screening and then taking wounds off them, that was kind of boring, especially with any event that had predetermined terrain where you can really game out that.
Well, you could put
placement.
It was ridiculous because you could put the drones behind the terrain, so you could the easiest way to play against Tau was to target. There's Wyatt. What's going on?
Yeah.
But you target the drones. If you can't target the drones and they still worked, you know what I mean? Yeah. They should have to be visible for one or some shit. But that's a boring thing. I like the idea of Tau. Tell you the truth. I mean, the Tau fanatics will be upset about it, but I think that Tau should have a multifaceted army. They should feel like Marines almost, in selections, because Tau have like 500 allied races with them. You know what I mean? They in the fluff.
Yeah, that was also a problem.
Everybody they meet, they just put in. Come on in.
I love this. I'm learning so much talking to you about fluff and stuff.
I love that you played longer than I have no idea about anything.
No, I have no idea. It's like they have 20 units. It's all I can see in the codex.
No, Daniel, they love. They're really big fans of Angron.
Is the Spanish Inquisition?
Yeah, Angron and the Tau, they get along real well. They're good friends. So make sure you know all your fluff. So World Eaters and Tau, big friends.
I just feel like Daniel immediately takes any codex he gets and rips out all the fluff pages and immediately burns them. Heretic, heresy knowledge, just throws them away.
That would be funny, but I don't think Daniel does
I read Abaddon, the spoiler, and that's the only fluff. No, I've actually read Aryak the Rock Fist's fluff as well. And I've never read anything else because it sucks so much. It's horrible. It's so sad. It's like Abaddon's fluff was like, there was siege of a town, and then he came and he just cut open the walls, and chaos could win. Come on, it's so boring. And I've never read anything else. I think it was like in 4th edition codex or something. Never read anything. I'm gonna do it.
Space commies, yes, they are for the greater good. There's so
Abaddon has some awesome stuff though, where he goes into the what's that library called? Damn it, man, I can't remember either.
Library?
Yeah, where the Harlequins are defending it and stuff, and he's looking for.
That's what they do, bro. It's in the library. Man,
I love that. That's a cool story.
This is how I got into this game. All you have to do is have nowhere to go after an open heart surgery and be real bored and just be given all the 40K rule books and you read all the fluff and eventually get into the game. Isn't that how everybody does it?
Yeah. I mean, I read the Horus Heresy books. Those are my favorite. I actually don't read too much of the rule book fluff, but I read the Horus Heresy fluff. Man, today our podcast is going nuts on camera sizes. They're just going everywhere. I have no idea how to fix that right now.
Big Brad,
Brad. You know what it is? It's Thursdays. It's Thursdays, man. You can't do this on Thursday. It's the Thursday.
Party Thursdays.
Yeah.
I love that we just keep going back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I'm not touching it either. I'm not trying to fix anything. I'm just rolling with the punches right now.
Oh man.
It is what it is, bro. It's kind of how the points work in 40K. They go up, then they go down. Then they go up, then they go down.
I'm still just really irritated that they're like, hey, man, the points change. Which ones? Hey, read all, 70 pages and figure it out. Go fuck yourself. like, really?
Speaking of fluff, though, Brad, who is your favorite character of all time? Not like an actual model, though. Take models out of the game. Who's your favorite? Even if there is a model, that's fine, too. But I'm curious.
Horus.
Horus is your favorite character? Really?
No,
Lame.
Horus isn't my most interesting character after I've read all the stuff. But when I first got into the game, it was because of the Horus Heresy, and I just thought it was like super amazing that this one dude basically got half the galaxy to come to his side. And
What's your favorite?
Is
horror story?
evil or a good character?
He's a good character.
well, he's no, he's a conflicted character. I think he actually got tricked into doing stuff. I think he got eventually he's like fully powered up and he's twisted by chaos. But in the beginning, a lot of those dudes that even fell. I mean, obviously you got a couple of the guys that were like always going to chaos already. You're like, Angron turned to chaos? What? Like, didn't see that one coming.
40K is just a different take on Star Wars, and Angron is Luke Skywalker, but he just died to the Emperor instead of defeating the Emperor. That's all.
He died at the end.
Yeah. He's like, so instead of like Darth Vader dying and then the Emperor killing Luke, it's like, well, what we're going to do instead is we're going to have it so that the Emperor wins somehow, but then like sits in a chair. So Horus is the good guy, man. Anyone on the side of chaos.
Interesting. I think that one of the interesting books and one of the super interesting characters I still think is Aramon. If you want to go for somebody that I don't even think's a bad guy, he's a member of chaos, but he's like everything he's been trying to do forever has actually been. He kind of does the ends justify the means, but Aramon's like literally cruising around trying to fix shit. And
it's a valid point.
Well, he kind of uses some awful methods, but he is trying to help.
One of my favorite characters, Brad, in one of the stories, I can't remember which book it is. It's a Horus Heresy book, and I think they're on planet like Moltec or something like that. But they're on this planet where it's like basically like there's a house of knights somewhere, and like the chaos force, like Horus has to get his forces there. And there's this jungle of like these crazy predatory animals like all over this jungle, and this fortress is surrounded by the jungle. So you have to go through the jungle to get there. So there's this character in the book, I can't remember what his name was, but he was a Nurgle like Marine, and he was so like stunk with Nurgle's rot of just insanity proportions that like they just sent him first. Like there's this whole freaking battalion of warriors, of chaos warriors, Horus and everybody, and they're like, no, send Billy up there.
And the guy with the BO.
Yeah, Billy's got some BO. Send him first. And as he walks through the jungle, the book describes it as like everything within a mile radius just dies. Like it just disintegrates and ceases to exist. Like his decay just kills it all. And then all of these animals in the jungle like realize what's going on. They're like, dude, that guy smells terrible. And they all run away from him, and they run towards the knights, because in the story it's like this freaking house of knights are like setting up, and there's like 50 60 of them, whatever. They're like ready to go. They know chaos is coming, and they're going to just destroy them when they clear the tree line. But then what happens is like hundreds of thousands of like animal predators just like rush out of the jungle, running away from the Nurgle dude, and they like destroy all of the knights. They all they run out of ammo. Like by the time chaos gets there, the knights that survived have no more ammunition, and they basically go, yes, Horus, we will do whatever you want. Like no problem. And then like B.O. Billy just goes in a cave somewhere. Like that is like one of the coolest stories I remember.
I have a slim selection of favorite characters. It's Abaddon or Arjak the Rockfist. So I think Abaddon wins because Arjak the Rockfist, he kills like 100,000 Krakens alone.
I do like the fact,
and that was even a worse story actually. So
I do love the fact that I love the fact that his range weapon is a hammer. You're like, all right then.
That is funny. Another good character too is who one of our favorite friends, Brad, and yours too, Greg, which is Greg Sparksies. I mean yours too, Daniel. Greg Sparksies. I don't know how many times he's told me the story of Morgan Ra, like riding into the warp gate. I'm pretty sure Greg has told the Morgan Ra stories.
He literally he basically
times.
Silver Surfered out his fucking craft world out of the fucking Eye of Terror.
What's the percentage that if Greg had a child, it would have either a middle name or a first name of Ra or Morgan?
I think it would just be Morgan Ra.
Morgan Ra Sparks. What's your name? My name's Morgan. What's your middle name? Ra. It's like, the fuck are you named after?
If you read the books and everything else, Abaddon was kind of a dick before he ever went to Chaos. He was just the guy in the Mournful that was real pissed.
Yeah, he was always a douche. It's like, yo, guys, Loken just joined the group. Abaddon's like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, his
Don't
answer
trust
to
that
everything
dude.
was like, we could just kill everyone. You're like, hey man, we just want to talk. He's like, or second option, kill everyone.
Murder everybody. No.
No, wait. I think I read another fluff.
Uh-oh.
Is it Stern or some? Is it Stern maybe or some Grey Knight that is lost in a chaos world and just
Oh,
kills
yeah,
demons
you did.
for 1,000 years?
Yeah.
Drago.
That's
Also
Drago.
a horrible
That's
fluff.
Drago.
that's
Stop
Drago.
Me not
That's
to
Drago.
read any more stuff.
Drago literally only gets pulled back into battles right now.
Yeah. He's just in the warp. He's like, I like it here,
Yeah.
guys. I like killing
He's
these
just
people.
rolling around doing
good.
warp dust.
We're good.
Drago, my man.
He's
Drago.
at the as Reese and Frankie would say, he's at the Slanesh party. They were arguing which chaos god has the best parties, and they were like Slanesh would have a good party.
I mean, that's laughable, of course.
I mean, there's no question about it. Of course, Slanesh would have the best party. I mean,
You did this on purpose just to mess with people, and it's really fucking me up right now that all the boxes are slightly off center.
oh yeah, I know, I love it. It's my favorite thing. I do that intentionally.
I mean, a Sanj party would be like a super boring party with a magician.
It wouldn't even
Like,
matter.
no
You would never
or-
find it.
They
Because
suck him
it's all secretive, and it's all. And they would have like fake parties that you'd have to find to get to the real party.
Or it would just be a bunch of drugs, and the party's actually in your brain. You're just like,
And let's be honest, the corn party is just people killing each other. So it's basically all war
Cor-
zones.
I just thought Corn Party was like a mosh pit. I was like, it's just a mosh pit. That's how I envisioned it, with maybe Corn playing in the background. But yeah, no, Daniel, you need to read up more on some of your fluff. I think you would like the
think
story
I
of the
also
beast.
should point out that if you came to learn about 40K today, that's not going to happen.
That's not true. We told people that Dark Eldar bikes are now nerfed because of the new points. Boom, there you go. There's 40K. What else do you want to know? Talk to me. Talk to us.
That is true. Lucius is Dr. Roxo from Metapocalypse.
Lucius, the Emperor's Children swordsman guy?
Yeah,
I like that guy.
the Eternal.
The guy's a pimp. I like his story. I like
His
in
story's great.
Istvan.
He's
Istvan
always-
3. He's like Istvan 3. He's like, I wasn't a part of the cool kids group. Well, I could just kill people. Did Alexa just talk? Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like,
Daniel knows all the fluff about service raiders.
no. Do you guys want to know where Daniel knows the fluff about? Do you guys really want to know? Daniel, can you talk to me about some snakes? I want to know. I want to know some snake info, man.
Snake info. I think that was
I got you there, Alex.
If you had to pick one snake that you think could kill Horus and send him to Davin's moon to get the first
the
transmit,
Black Mamba, it's the most
it's the Black Mamba.
horrible snake.
Black Mamba, baby.
Do you even have? Is there a snake in Sweden, or do the snakes just go? It's too fucking cold.
That's actually a funny point. Daniel, do you know that Brad has a snake in his house?
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Daniel knows that. Yeah, Brad owns the snake because Brittany does.
It is not a black mamba.
No.
You're like, hey, that's a cool snake. And a black mamba.
But I think that's kind of funny that you have a snake and you've never mentioned it on the podcast before. That's like if I were to have a fish chewing on my fingers like down here and I just never went, hey, by the way, check this out. What snake do you have?
Animals and shit.
Brad, what snake do you have?
I literally don't know. It's a snake.
You don't even know what snake's in your
I want
house?
0 animals.
What is
I have
it?
A snake. And
What does it
3
look like?
dogs
What
and
color
cats.
is it? Daniel can
It's a
tell you what
fucking
it is.
Snake.
Daniel can tell you what it is. Tell him
I
what color
don't
it is.
know. It's green, bluish, green. I don't know.
How long is it? How long is it?
It 2 feet, 47 meters.
Ask a colorblind
182
person who has
kilos.
zero
Yeah.
depth perception
That was
how
my next
large
question. How
and
many
colorful
kilos does
something
it
is.
Yeah.
How many kilos does it weigh?
I love it. By the way, because of this your snake thing, I love the fact that when we had Aussie Josh Diffie on,
I just
that
kept segueing
we
us.
literally segued into at least a half hour of poisonous snake
And the
talk.
best part was that he had no idea about snakes. He's just like, guys, I'm from Australia. It doesn't mean I know anything about snakes. It's like if I was from Jamaica, do I know about bobsledding? No. Why does everyone want to talk about that right away? I don't get it. Whenever I meet someone from Jamaica, I'm immediately like, hey, bobsledding. They're just confused. They don't understand.
They're like, feel the rhythm.
Feel the rhyme. But yeah, that's kind of where Daniel's fluff is. It's in snakes. So you know what, Daniel? I don't know why you don't know more about Alpha Legion, because their logo is snakes. And actually, Alfarius is a pretty pimp character. Very pimp, actually. Did you know he has a twin brother?
Twin brother, bro.
I promise you, I will not check this out.
Like, just letting you know, I will be uninformed.
So what did you want to talk about? The Dark Angels Codex and how they got way better with really sick psychic powers, and they're probably the best Marine book in the game? Is that what you wanted to talk about?
The only thing with it is I think that like people are overreacting a little bit. I think they are very, very good. But the problem is that
fight last. Hey, you fight last. Hey, you no more OBSEC. Really?
No. They have
overreacting
super good shit. But I'm saying that like people are going to make initial terrible lists because they have so many things that are working parts together and things that the way that you have to take them, that you're going to end up playing a certain style of list, period, or you're going to have a list that does not work very well together.
I'm curious how hard they got hit in the FAQ. I think people should look that up. That's going to be interesting. Because did that change?
Point-wise?
Yeah, did their points change in the FAQ? Because
well, I don't know. Hold on, let me
really
pull
good
it up
on
real
paper.
quick.
No one knows. That's impossible information to know.
Let me look and see if they got any color changes. Nope, looks like it's gray. So it looks like no one got anything.
Carmona, why are you in the chat thread but you're not on the cast? You literally could have just jumped on, and you're just not. So I don't understand. I'm confused. You called me and then you just left.
No, but they feel really pimp. I really like the psychic powers they got.
Their psychic powers are fucking awesome, man.
Amazing.
The shut off OBSEC is 24 inches and doesn't have line of sight. That thing's boss mode.
It's really good. Fight last. I think fight last. Pick a unit. Fight last is really strong. Like really strong.
But if you want to fight last, you probably play Space Wolves, which have two things that makes you fight last anyway. But it's super good. But
oh no, you could make army lists that make a lot of things fight last. But I think Space Wolves are cool. But like having a psychic power that says you fight last. Period. I choose you. You fight last. Not like an aura. Not something a good player can play out of by making sure they stay out of that range. Something that you just can't stop. I pick you. You fight last. That's it. It's over. It's end of conversation. In an army that's also really, really good. Like Space Wolves are cool. They have some things that make you fight last, but they suck. Dark Angels are actually good.
Hey, stay away from my stuff.
You're literally the definition of a Codex whore, and you don't play Space Wolves, and they're your favorite army. So if they were even remotely good, like even a little bit, like even if they were like reasonable, you would play them because you love them. But the fact is they're so far away from top tier that like they're not even in your radar. And that hurts your soul, and you don't want to admit it.
Good stuff. Yeah. They're not my top tier, though. I mean, let's be honest. Whatever I think is the best is what I'm currently playing at all times.
Yeah. And your camera just does not want to. I don't understand. Daniel's network is fine. Your camera is just freaking out all day. Don't understand it.
Yeah, that is true. Wyatt's got a good point on that. The psychic powers are highly useful, but won't cause field beds because they don't scoop models off the board. I think that the Dark Angels are going to be a very, very successful army, and I think that people that are very good with them are going to win just a shit ton of games with them. But I don't think they're just going to be peeling people. I agree on that. They'll have like the abilities to just crush games all the time, and they'll be very, very successful. But I don't think that they feel as ridiculous as other things.
Sisters.
As sisters, yeah.
Sisters are good.
It won't feel like when you come in and get all two hit multi-melt is hitting on twos at 12 shots and or charged by repentance.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask them, how many points are those again? You're like, not as much as the unit I just killed. Bing!
Yeah, I think I had some people reach out to me about Deathcore Krieg horses. And I think if you're going to play a Deathcore Krieg horse army with sisters, I think is the right way to play it. I think that's probably what I would do. I would do a sisters with Deathcore Krieg. If you like absolutely want to go Deathcore Krieg. Sisters by no means need to have Deathcore Krieg. But if that's kind of, I had a couple people reach out and say, hey, I want to play. I actually did have, I don't know why Deathcore Krieg is getting popular, but a couple people were like, hey, I want to play like a heavy horse Deathcore Krieg army. My first thing, Daniel, was, hey, get some of those Mechanicum horses. Like run the Mechanicum horses, run the Deathcore Krieg horses, make a display board of Lord of the Rings. You have freaking Gandalf coming down the hill, freaking just 60 horse troops behind him, all magnetized to a vertical platform. Bring it to a tournament and just look at people go, how long did that take you to make? You just look them in the eyes. while.
I wish I had more hints about the Drakari. I'm still mad about the point change. Make them 15 points.
The Drakari points?
The fucking Reaver jet bikes.
Yeah.
I argue this with Snakes forever. He's like, oh, they're ridiculous at 10 points. I agree, they're ridiculous at 10 points, and they're broken at 10 points, unplayable at 20 points. So we should probably be, in the middle and go maybe 15 is where we can actually put them on the board. At 20 points, they're literally just getting beat up by other fucking bikes from every single thing.
It's too expensive.
I'd rather take a Drakari jet bike than a gun drone, though.
Yeah.
Bro, why are you picking on Tau so much today? Leave Tau alone. It's not fair. Not fair to them.
Yeah, but did they fix the thing where the Riptide shielded missile drones are the same, or 15 points, and they're actually T6 with missiles and an invuln? You're like, you can get a 20-point gun drone, or you can get a shielded missile drone.
I'm telling you guys, they're gonna fix. There's a Gandalf post. I'm gonna read that later by Pete. They're gonna fix Tau by making Kroot interesting. I really do think that's how they fix them. They make Kroot mercenaries awesome, and then Tau have this whole other aspect of playing the game. I think that would be how I would make them better.
They're a combined arms force. Again, Daniel has not, but I have. In the fluff, they literally have tanks and suits and all their mercenaries that are showing up, doing all their shit. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal on that.
Yeah. James Carmona wants to know when Chaos Space Marines are getting tubers.
He could have asked us in person.
Yeah, you know what, Carmona, we're not answering your questions because you could have been on the podcast and you said,
just talking to him. He fucking deep sixed us out of here.
Not cool, bro. Not cool. Give you love. And you just think you're better.
Flash fact. That is true. Everybody did get their two. I like that they announced, by the way. It would be so different if they had announced it. But months and months ago, they were like, Chaos, you're getting 2 wound guys and updates on this stuff. And also, go fuck yourself. Everybody else gets their shit. I know we said you were going to get your shit, but not now. That's crazy talk.
That's great.
Hey, did you hear, Brad, that the Frontline guys are doing a new thing where you can pre-order 3 passes to tournaments? Daniel, this doesn't apply to you, I don't think, because I don't know how you would use them. I guess it applies to you if you wanted to come to LVO and stuff. When are you coming to the States again, Daniel?
We don't ban them from tournaments. You're like, Daniel, you can't. You're not allowed in America anymore.
I feel like as long as he's wearing that hat, he can't come here though. He has to leave the hat, then he can come. But they're doing a thing where you could buy advanced rights to purchase a spot at an event. And I was thinking about that yesterday when I heard about it. I was like, well, it's a really good idea actually, because I bet you the moment I was thinking about this with you, we talked about this off air, but I was thinking the moment that COVID vaccines are up and the number of cases is down and the governors open up our states again and everything's going, how many tournaments are going to sell out? How fast? For how long? I feel like
we have a deal in our group that as soon as someone sees a tournament, just register everyone.
I feel like everyone is so eager to get in, but the first event, whatever it is, LVO, even 1,000 people, doesn't matter. Whatever the first event is, to be hey, I know we're a multi-100 person event, but we are open. We are good to go. Governor's approved it. Everything is good. And maybe it's Atlanta Open, maybe it's Atlantic City Open, maybe not. That's in June. Maybe it's the team event in Vegas. We know it's not ATC. Maybe it's Nova. I don't know. But any of these events are going to be sold out in seconds. I think honestly in seconds for months. And I see that happening for sure. Everyone's so eager to play.
I'm playing a combat patrol tournament right now. I just want to play.
Yeah, everyone just wants to play right now. Even I want to play. Everyone's super, super eager to play. I think that was a really smart idea on the Frontline team. And honestly, I hope it works. I hope it works out for them too. And I think you also get a discount on it too. That's what they said. They said overall when you get your tickets too, there's gonna be a discount for players. But I mean, if you don't have that, if they're still offering them, I would highly recommend getting them if you think you're going to go to events because, bro, everything's going to be sold out.
So what are they selling? They're selling 3 open tickets.
They're selling 3. Yeah, they're selling basically you get the rights to buy. Yeah, you get the rights to register before the general public because you bought this thing, and then when you buy the ticket for the event, you get 3 tickets in this book or whatever in this deal. and you get a discount on those 3 events. So that overall you save around 24%.
This sounds like a great idea, except for the fact that I don't even know if I've ever registered myself for an event because I always forget, and then someone has to get it for me, or I get a ticket like when I get there.
Yeah,
you
are a man child.
I was going to be that I was just going to be able to. I think every year for LVO, basically before Britt found out how much of an idiot I was about this, I would just show up and hope that I could get in. It just didn't happen. So she actually gets the tickets for most everything that I travel to because she just realizes that I'm a moron and she should definitely get my tickets for me.
Yeah, I got your tickets for Europe. That's how pathetic you are sometimes.
Well, the best part about you when the last time we traveled to Europe, Alan goes, I don't trust you meeting me anywhere, so I'm going to literally fly you to Chicago, and then from Chicago we'll fly to Europe.
Like, I just don't want to like wait for people places. But remember when we lost Kopak at the airport in like some place, and he was like charging somewhere? I felt like
Kopak
that was terrible.
Literally flew into a different terminal. It just kept telling us where he not like that he was in a different terminal. He's like, I'm by this coffee shop, blah, blah, blah. We're like, dude, we are standing in front of the coffee shop. You're not here. And all of a sudden I just go, what terminal are you in, Kopak? And he's like, there's different terminals? And we find out that he's flew into the rando terminal that no one's at. So we had to go, we basically held our, we had rented cars.
You guys, wait, we rented cars. We rented cars in the terminal?
I think so.
I can't remember.
We packed everything.
I just hate waiting for people. Like, especially like when traveling to Europe, I hate when people get lost. I don't like any of this stuff. Like when we got to Henrik's cabin, I got to wait for everyone to cross on a boat that carries one person at a time with their luggage. No, I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm just going. Just go. I don't want to wait for Brad. I don't want to wait for anyone. Just go. Just get it done.
Henrik, for sure. Henrik and I both were like super worried that you were going to die. So we kept coming back on the boat.
I never die.
Just going near you to make sure you weren't just drowning.
We didn't talk about 40K Fit Group. I'm excited about joining. Maybe it'll give me some, I don't know.
Is this a real thing or are you guys just fucking?
No, I'm serious. I'll send you an invite. There's a group about people who are interested in fitness and are 40K people. So it's like like-minded people who are also interested in like getting fit. I mean, I think most people gained weight during COVID. I know Daniel did. He was talking about going on a diet in January, but Daniel's like fat for a Swedish guy. So
he did lose weight recently.
Yeah, I've lost 7 kilos in January.
Oh wow, that's a lot, right? Isn't that like 15 stones
15
or something?
pounds.
I don't know what that is.
I can't convert it. It's probably like your left leg or something.
I still love the fact that Alan weighs between 60 and 182 kilos.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm excited to join it. I'm trying to get back into the gym, get back to being healthy so that if we do have events, I can actually go. You know, people underestimate actually, like it's kind of weird, but like if you play LVO, like LVO specifically, I think, and maybe even Adepticon too. Actually, no, probably Adepticon the most. If you play the singles at Adepticon and then the team tournament at Adepticon, and you play like 190 model count army, and you're playing that whole time, you got to be in like decent shape. Otherwise, you're gonna feel like shit.
The key to fucking rocking out and keeping a solid mind. Afternoon workout, get a quick one in.
I'm doing mornings. I'm doing mornings, and here's why. After work right now, like my actual job, I am exhausted, like mentally, physically. I just want to de-stress. Right now I'm playing Hearthstone because of you, Chester. It's annoying. I got addicted to Battlegrounds again. I'm trying to get my rank up in Battlegrounds, and I'm just learning new strats. There's so many new heroes and new cards. Pogo's gone. What? That's weird. I miss Pogo. I miss Pogo like a lot. Also, my Murloc fish dude with the divine shield that flips. That was like my go-to. That was like how I leveled up. And now it's all about just like maxing stat lines. Like yesterday I was playing, I lost a game against a non-poisoned player. I got second against a non-poisoned opponent. He had no poison. He was playing a dragon deck. In Battlegrounds, and he got a card so strong that he was able to kill my demon guy who was like 280 health. He killed him. That was insane. Because he had that dragon card that triples.
Is this Hearthstone?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would continue with another Hearthstone story, but then I would have more confused looks from Daniel, even worse than we talk about fluff.
Yeah, Daniel.
Also,
Daniel.
I've actually played Hearthstone.
There you
We
go.
decided that if you found
A long time ago.
if you played online gaming, we would never see you again. You would look like Quagmire when he found out that there was porn on the internet.
I'm like the exact opposite of you, Daniel. I feel like Daniel is like all in on one thing. He's like, I got to build 40K models. So Vendettas, Valkyries. I got to do Harlequins, display board, bases, right? Like, and then there's me. I'm like, I got to play a little bit of Hearthstone today, then some Call of Duty later on. Then I got to do this thing on the car. Then I got to go, do another hobby over here. Then I got to do some 3D printing. Then I'm going to go fly a drone for a little bit. Then I'm going to edit a video with Brad. It's like, it's too much stuff.
Yeah.
Too much stuff.
It's because of your condition, Alan. It's fine.
Take a bow, sir. Take a bow. The hat.
I don't know.
says it
I don't
all.
know what condition I have, but now I'm sad. But I started building Deathcore Krieg models, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Dude, those guys are just like I feel like they were a miss that people didn't have them already on the board. To tell you the truth, I just think maybe people just didn't have them because man, they are crazy good.
Pete had a comment about Gandalf. I got to go back and read that because
It's actually I like the model he's talking about to use for that.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna copy this. I actually was just gonna 3D print a Gandalf model on a horse, but I could definitely use a real model.
Why not? Be legit, too legit even.
3D printing will be legit in the future, so just get ready for it. That's actually a good question. I wonder how Games Workshop and other model companies that have games are gonna pivot towards 3D printing.
Sorry, the last comment was so good. Brad has been the same size for 10 minutes. It's messing me up here.
I don't know. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Yes.
It's weird. I didn't do anything. Kevin,
what
I
were you
swear.
saying, Alan? Games Workshop are gonna pivot to.
Yeah. How is the miniature? How do you guys think the miniature industry is going to pivot to address 3D printing? Because like 3D printing is not going anywhere, and it's going to get more and more popular. So I'd be curious to know, like, will they release STL
maybe?
files? Yeah, that's what I'm curious. I'm curious if they'll release STL files because I would buy them. I would definitely buy them.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be hard though.
Make
There's
models more detailed and sell the files. Like get more money from recurring revenue. So you pay like a monthly fee to get
but the problem is you have to get a lot of
files
people that are
from your
old school.
fraction or something.
You're going to have always a lot of pushback from people that have been doing that a long time and been with GW and stuff, you know what I mean? And they're sculptors and they put stuff out and they think of modeling as, this thing that, or this old school untouchable thing. And then you're going to get.
That's fine. That's fine. So they can still sell models, right? You can still sell.
Oh, no. You're going to sell them. I'm just saying that I don't know how hard you're going to have to push with the new age, the new wave of people that'll say
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. 3D printing is essentially what the CD-ROM was to VHS tapes. VHS tapes. Like it's the same concept. It's just a better technology. It's going to become more accessible. It's going to become better. It's going to become more detailed. It's the future, like period. Like you can't fight it. So the question is going to be like how, like I want to give Games Workshop my money because I like Games Workshop's product, which is the game and the rules and the art and the theme and the fluff. And yeah, the models, the sculpting and the creation of the models that they make are awesome. So I want to give them my money. I don't have a problem with that, but they're going to have a very hard time in the future.
They have to move to a subscription-based income source.
Correct. Yeah, they have to.
For the value of the company, but
they
also for the way of distributing the files.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree, and I honestly think it's actually a model that, like, if they were to embrace early on, and they were to become kind of the pioneer or the leader, it'd be really, really bad for all of the Patreon dudes who are making money right now in STL files all over the place. It would be bad for them, but for the company, it might be really good.
It doesn't have to be that bad because, Games Workshop, they have a limited sort of set of units. What I really like with other guys' stuff is you can like buy bits and, get bits and make your army more customized towards your own style. So it doesn't have to be that bad. Yeah. But of course, if they're moving to a subscription-based file share, basically, they need to produce a lot more models over time, of course.
Yeah, and I think Wyatt made a point about sharing them. That's easily fixed. We have technologies that can do that now. So you can lock all that down easily. So that wouldn't be a problem. But
see, that's semi-lie though, because you would instantly get around them, and you would.
No, you could do some pretty intense security on that stuff.
This is like the music industry when MP3 got, and everyone downloaded music.
Yeah.
You need to find a new way to make money on your product, because right now you have 3D printers and you have 3D scanners, right? And right now I can just scan it and print it, and they don't make any money except for the first model I buy. So
I actually think that if you had an STL, I think a lot of people would buy the subscription because I'm willing to pay for things that are easier. You know what I mean? So if it was annoying for me to do it, I would rather just have the STL file.
Yeah. Well, so I would pay for it because I want them to produce the game that I love to play. So I would definitely be into something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should have a whole podcast on this. I'll do some more research. I'm pretty sure that there is technology that could lock a lot of it down right now. Even with music right now, there's like some really interesting stuff that's happening. So I'm curious about that. Gary Frank mentioned a point too that I think we can talk about also with the Nopin, which I thought was awesome, by the way. So if anyone got a chance to check out the Nopin, but Brad, what are your thoughts on Gary's point about kind of watching a player play the list? Focus on the player as opposed to the list.
I actually like the Nopin, but what I would like to see, and this is just my thoughts on it, I would like to see just having stage games. You know what I mean? Have a team basically. Say like each person that's playing, is Team Rocket, Team whatever. I don't know enough Pokemon besides the Rocket thing or whatever. But I would like to see like each player
Team
basically
McLovin.
coming. Yeah, Team McLovin. But like you'd have like players playing their lists and basically do a bracket from there and see what team gets the most wins or whatever kind of thing, as opposed to.
I think that's a really good idea. I actually enjoyed watching. I'm not going to name any names right now, but I think everyone will know who I'm talking about. I enjoyed watching a good army list that I know is good because I know how it works, and maybe even seeing someone play it really, really well. But then I enjoyed seeing somebody else play it very, very poorly, and getting to reflect on like how, like, I've always told people in the past, like the list is a part of it, but a very small part of how what determines success in a 40K player. And it is really, really, really player focused. And
if you
the
don't
Nopin
know
proved
the
it.
ins and outs, you can't. A lot of lists are very, not so much as tricksy, but have a lot of things that synergize together. I mean, where you have a certain way you're playing and a certain all your strats, and they make a big deal. Like my list, I mean, TJ, there's a lot of those lists that basically, if you don't know all the strats and how to use them and everything else, the list becomes very, very weak comparatively.
But it also kind
We've touched base on this before.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I'm very against internet listing, stealing lists from the internet, because you don't understand how it's played. So you don't understand how to utilize the tools you have in your army. So,
dude.
But that's an interesting point, though, from a coaching perspective, Brad. I think you could take a note on this one, actually.
That's what I start with. I ask people. That's how I start with people. You have to ask them, literally, what's your play style?
Oh, no. I was going to go a totally different way, Brad. I was going to go a totally different way. Okay. I would literally hand someone the best army list I think exists. And I would put against them another army list that I think is very good, or I would tell them play against the local player who's really, really good in your area and play this exact army. And I would give them zero feedback, but I would ask for them to record it or take some pictures or give me information on how the game went. I think the best way to assess a player actually is what Daniel just said, which is give them a net list that they have no idea how it was built or why it was built the way it was. Give them zero background on how to use it. Just tell them to play with it. And that would be the best reflection of where their skill is at today.
I would rather talk through people and get some information
Nope.
by pushing them into the street
Nope.
and seeing how good they are at dodging cars.
No, I think you
good.
if you could dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. So let see if they can get hit by that wrench first. Man, when I watched some of these people play some of the lists the way they were on the Nopen, I was like, you clearly like just don't know how that works. Okay. You know,
right,
like
but the thing I like, and
that's fine. That's fine.
You got to ask people like what the hell they want to do, though, man. I go, if you make a person that's all in assault, give them an all shooting army, or vice versa. You know what I mean? You have to like feel people if they're comfortable with their.
I just think it's a good assessment. It's a good assessment. They come back to you and you're like, okay, now I know how to recommend things to you because now I know how you think.
I don't know how excited the person would be to continue to work with you. Like, I got wrecked. You're like, yeah, told you.
No, you'd be like, why did you deploy this unit there? And then they'd be like, well, I deployed that unit there because I have no clue what the hell I'm doing. This is what I thought, right? Like, and you're like, well, you thought wrong. Here's the way you should have looked at deploying this unit, right? Like, I think honestly, like deployment's like the biggest one.
Yeah, it's giving jokey Smurf gift boxes to everybody. I opened your package and it blew up in my face. You're like, yep, all right, let's do this again.
I think it's an actual true test of where someone is. What do you do? Ask them, hey, how good of a player do you think you are?
No, you start doing that afterwards. But I mean, I'm just saying as far as the list stuff, because a lot of people are very nervous. If you don't understand how something works, I don't even know if it shows that you're a good or bad player. You just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you give someone like a super intricate list that has lots of moving parts and they're just like, I don't know how this works.
If you give someone 4 fire raptors,
rubbing their face in it like a dog a peed on the floor.
If you hand someone 4 fire raptors and 3 hell drakes and you're like, hey, all you have to do is fly in these formations here. I'm going to draw them on a piece of paper and like leave your units on the board inside of ruins that can never be shot at. It doesn't always work. You just see what they figure out.
His coaching technique was he wrote on a paper.
I like Alan's coaching style more. I like tough love, hard love.
Oh, dude, I would be the worst coach. That's why I can't do it. I would never do it because I would be terrible. I love. Good job, Brad. Good job, the Art of War guys. Whoever else is doing a Vanguard Tactics. All you peeps out there helping these people get better. I would have 0 patience. I'd just be like, what the hell are you doing? Why?
Gary actually made a good point on that. He's like, to Alan's point, the player that has a good understanding of 40K as a whole is a good way to teach. On my point, the style of teaching, it's more narrow based on what the player wants. And I'm all about pleasing. I'm a people pleaser on this. Alan's like, you know why you made these errors? And they're like, why? Like, because you're sucky.
Brad's like, oh, it's okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to help you with deployment. We're going to make sure you understand why you need to put this unit here. It's called a screen. And then there's Alan's approach. Are you fucking stupid? Why'd you let him charge you here? Why would you deploy this fucking unit here, you idiot? You know, like that's my approach. So
you're doing drill sergeant approaches to BK.
Alan, I'm really happy we won all the other games at Adepticon because Mitch and you argue badly together.
Oh my God, I was yelling at you. Like, no, because he was all like I don't know, he was challenging. You were cool about it. Daniel came over after he lost. He's like, I lost. I shouldn't have lost. My bad. You know, like he just knew it. And Mitch is like, we didn't have time. We didn't know that. We didn't know this. You know, he had like a bunch of excuses. And I love Mitch. He's like my brother, you know, but I don't want to hear any excuses. You could just come and be like, I fucked up. I know you guys got a 30 and we got a 6 or some shit against Necrons with orcs. And Daniel just came up to me like a man. I messed up. Mitch came with a bunch of excuses. I don't do excuses. The moment you come to me with excuses, it's done.
Is your coaching technique akin to Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're in my head, Private Bob.
Yeah, I don't deal well with excuses. But me and Mitch work really well together. Me and Elliot do not work well together, Daniel. That's why I was glad that I could just give you him. Because when me and him play together, we're like, I want to do this. And I'm basically like saying, I want to go all in on a strategy. Elliot's like, why don't we just sit back and do nothing for a little while, see how this pans out? I'm like, I can't do that. I want to go. So it was rough. That was rough.
We played well together.
You guys did, yeah.
I take this half, you take that half. Just go ahead.
Yeah.
Sparks and I literally argue so much before the game that people are like, you guys going to be all right, man?
Yeah. No, Adepticon teams is too much pressure, man. To get that second win, that was big. I was really excited about that. Man, Now I'm reminded of Adepticon, Daniel. Look what you did to me.
Yeah.
So sad.
You know what? I'm going for it again.
I got sad when I heard ATC was
Canceled. Yeah,
terminated.
we got a couple things that are coming up though that are around, at least around for Alan and I. We've got hopefully the Glass City will come together in some sort of thing in Adepticon spot, which is at the end of March, and then we've got the Motor City, which is Pete. When are your dates again? Hopefully you're still here.
Yeah, Pete's talking about Motor City. I like that, but you have to keep in mind, man. Super Bowl is the 7th. We're going to have a massive COVID spike on the 24th, 25th of Feb. It's going to destroy March. Everything's going to be closed. It's done. I mean, I personally know of 10 parties. I'm not going to any of them, but I know of like a bunch of Super Bowl stuff that either cousins are doing, friends are doing, people online are doing.
It's too early, man.
Like, literally this Sunday is going to cause a skyrocket by the end of February.
Brit's second COVID time.
Yeah, Brit might get COVID a third time this Sunday. I'm just saying.
She's trying for the three-peat. She wants to get every COVID strain she could find. Yeah, like, I heard there's
an African one. Let me get that. I got the UK one already. I got to collect them all. But
she's a collector. She is the collector.
No, man, I expect to see anything that's planned in March or in April. Good luck. I hope it happens. I really do. But just expect to see a huge shutdown across the board, regardless of what the administration wants to do right now, because I know they want to open things up because they want to make it look like things got better when we shifted. But it's just not going to happen. I expect to see a massive spike from Super Bowl. It's just too big of an event.
If you were running,
I'm going to watch Super Bowl this year.
What?
I haven't watched it in 5 years, 6 years or something. I used to watch it always.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got the first vaccine shot on the 25th.
Yeah,
I'm getting hideout, man.
I'm getting my vaccine too in Feb. I have my appointment already, but from all the research I've read, it's like, is the vaccine really is it really going to help you? It's like there's all these new strands. The African one currently on the vaccine I'm getting is only 60% effective, which is like lower than herd immunity. So it's rough, man. I don't know. I wouldn't expect to see the vaccine do anything.
This makes me sad. I don't want to talk about COVID.
Well, you were saying we have stuff coming up, and I'm just telling you.
But we're going to talk about Gary's thing. Is advice for people who struggle to make army lists, and I'm going to use an Alan thing on this because we talk a lot about it, and he brought it up last time. Is you got to figure out the core of your list, and from there on. So basically, if you do anything, talk to somebody about making. I literally make 1,000 points in my army basically almost always, and then from there I move things in and out. But you can't keep reinventing your list. Your list has to have a concept and
I do more even. I think I do like 1,500 points, and then I play around with the last 500 points and
that's when you're really
seeing how it interacts with the core.
I think at a minimum 1,000 to 1,200 points has to be just bedrock, never changes.
I have so many of those videos ready to go also for YouTube that I just haven't edited. So, but the bedrock is definitely, like you said, Brad, the starting point for sure. And I think you were doing that too. We have one with you talking about Death Guard.
Yeah. I just think that you find out what you want to do with a list and make sure it has all. We talk about the battle. We did a whole podcast about that, battlefield roles. And, I have a slide for it now. I literally have a slide for the 4 things that you need to be able to take care of. Hard targets, horde, volume of AP shots, blah, blah, blah. And basically make sure you check all those off the box and make sure that you have that core and work from there. I think too many people go, I lost a game to whatever, and then they literally redo their whole fucking list. You can't do that. You got to constantly be tiny.
Yeah, I heard this guy played Noise Marines recently, and he went to his coach, and he's like, just scrub it all. It's terrible. Change everything. Oh, Daniel doesn't know this story. One of Brad's clients played James Carmona in California and got raffle stomped by Noise Marines and some Raptors. And Brad took it personal. He took it real personal. Off stream, he was telling me, he's like, man, got to destroy James Carmona. It's gonna be my goal now. Teach everyone to beat Noise Marines in chaos.
I will all the time. Ooh, Pampers is saying that he's going to come on and talk fluff with us soon.
Oh, that'd be great. Do you know I still haven't sent Pampers his prize for winning the meme challenge? I owe him a prize, so he'll get it. I haven't sent it yet. Like
His
I got
kid is
his
literally-
address, and then I was like, going to the mailbox might be a problem because the post office by me is now permanently closed because of COVID, and the only one open is like 35 minutes from my house, and I haven't gone there yet. So.
Ooh, Peter's got a question on this because I want to go into this. Do you think each faction has the same bedrock? The answer is no, because it also depends on what you're trying to do.
No.
For instance, super fast armies, if you're going for all fast speed in your army, it's going to have a different bedrock than if you're going for a slow moving, very durable, hard hitting army.
Is he asking for points? I think he's asking for a points limit. So no on points. So like Daniel was saying earlier, he's around like 1,400-ish points for his bedrock, and then he adds. So that's his core, and then he adds supplemental things to it. But like every army's different. Like guard is going to have a much lower point. Your supplements in guard are like could be a lot. Like if you're like, for example, if you're like, I really want a core army of, Death Corps Krieg. I really want to play with 48 horses. That's like a real big thing for me from a fluff perspective. How do I make the best army with that afterwards? Well, 48 horses is like no points. So you can add on a ton from like either supplementing with another army and probably bringing a whole other core to it from that army's faction, or just adding more IG into it. So depends on which army you're playing.
When I played Orcs at ETC last time we played, I did like 1,400 points, and then I tried basically every unit in the game for those 600 points just to see how they supplemented the base 1,400 points.
Yeah.
Which those 1,400 points was like I don't want to move any of these because
you should get to that
100%.
But I start with the initial idea, which I think is 1,000, 1,200, and then move up, and then you always only change a piece at a time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just think that too many people go, oh, this didn't work, so I'm changing, I'm exploding everything and going. You're never going to get a fine tune unless you're only changing small pieces. So I would agree that eventually you should have 1,400 to 1,500 points that are, this is my army, and then you start swapping in and out from there, and that's it.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Same general approach on my part as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you make too many changes, you're never going to get the best list on that. That you're hardening the list is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Oh, Pete provided more information. I'm reading his post.
No, it's going to be different for each chapter, 100%.
Oh yeah. If that's your
for
question,
sure, because I don't take any redemptors and stuff like that.
Correct. Yeah.
But I might in like something like you're talking
Yeah,
about
like
the Iron Hands list.
like White Scars. I consider White Scars Blade Guard to be a core. Period. Like I don't think anyone would argue with that. Would you argue with that, Brad or Daniel?
Mm-mm.
Blade Guard.
No.
Blade Guard in a White Scars army probably core.
I think some Blade Guards in any Space Marine army is core. It's just a question of how many you're using, but you need some. Even if you're building a more shooty army, you definitely need some counter charges.
I can't
They're
agree
really
more
good
on
at
that.
it. So yeah.
The thing is that in 9th edition, I think that every army has to have some sort of punch, because you need to get things off objectives that are behind walls. And the thing is artillery, besides possibly a little bit of guard and a little bit of mechanicus, are still just really expensive and not that effective. Somebody can just hunker down behind a wall. The best way to get somebody off an objective that's hiding is to punch them in the face, because you kill the unit and you take the objective. So it's just, you have to have it. And also you just don't want a hardcore unit in your backfield. You have to have some sort of counter punch also to get people the hell off you.
No, I wouldn't say the three times 10
targets.
Vanguard. 3 times 10 Vanguard vets is not core for all chapters. No.
No.
It's a cool.
It's Raven Guard.
I think 2 times 10 is actually good in a couple armies, though. I would take 2 times 10 in Raven Guard and White Scars.
Yeah, Raven Guard I would. White Scars, maybe.
Dude, White Scars, they're damage 2.
Yeah, maybe.
When you get into Assault Doctrine.
I like them for Blood Angels as well.
I like them for Blood Angels, yeah.
Yeah.
With the +1 to wound.
White Scars, Blood Angels, all of those things. Anybody that's got a bonus for things, you know what I mean? And because of the reroll to wounds, it's just crazy, because you can mold stuff, especially in Scars when you get up to Assault Doctrine, because you're looking at AP3 Lightning Claws, the rerolling damage, they do 2 damage per failed save.
Yeah.
Astral Aim Sight Cannons, that is true. Astral Aim Sight Cannons are boss mode.
Clear that shit.
I actually like Silencers better than Sight Cannons.
Yeah, Silencers are
because
great.
of the volume. I like rolling more dice all the time, to tell you the truth. You're like, what gun can
Yeah,
you
no,
take?
but the way you can buff them up with the 3+1 damage, you can put the AP there. You have the stratagem that gives you reroll to
Just
wounds
more
into
options.
the vehicle. It's more and it's more shots. So
Yeah.
I actually think I did the math on it, and I think it's like statistically just better.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I do like. I mean, the thing is, I like rolling a lot of dice. Let's be honest. I like having nice, even bell curves.
Brad likes whenever his little hands seem bigger. So when he fills them with dice, he's like, "Oh, look at
Like,
what I can do."
look at me, I'm gigantic.
Any
I
situation
can fit
where
4 dice in my hand.
My barely opposable thumbs. All I have to do is
I like how
make
you
this.
say I like rolling a lot of dice, but you never go to a table with more than like a fixed number of dice under 20.
20 exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 20 or
exactly,
less.
and I won't put any other dice on the table that are those type of
I
dice.
have bigger hands, so I go with 30.
That's just crazy talk. What are you, a giant?
I made a mistake once playing with little dice. That was terrible. Way too many dice. Brain hurt after a while. All right, well this has been fun, guys. This is like an ad hoc podcast. No script, nothing planned. Talked about snakes most of the time, of course. Next week we'll talk about noodling. Actually, we could talk about 40K stuff. We had a really interactive chat today, so if you guys get on and have questions, we will answer them. We have no problem answering them, giving our perspective. I know Brad loves to hear himself talk, so he'll do that for sure.
All day long.
So other than that, thanks a lot for joining us today. We're gonna head out. Be sure to go on YouTube if you're not there yet. Subscribe to our channel. We have like way more views than subscribers on some of our vids, so subscribe if you can. Thanks a lot. Take care.
See you guys.
Ooh, I like this shoulder move. Keep going, Brad. Speed it up a little bit.